Right, so today I want to talk about the importance of earnouts in offers, because as you know, particularly if you're in a service business like an agency, but also increasingly I have to say true of most deals that are getting done irrespective of space at the moment that I'm seeing, is the importance of earnout. So you are going to have to expect that somewhere between 40 to 80% of the value that you see from your sale is going to be deferred over, and it's most probably going to be hooked into some kind of KPIs of performance. And there is a saying, isn't there, that never separate price and terms, because actually the terms, particularly when it comes to the element that's left in, can be critical, and the difference of how something is worded can be the difference between getting it and not getting it, or getting it in a very difficult way and in an elongated way. So I thought it's worth just talking about that a little bit, because I see quite a lot of different earnout structures, and often people get very excited through deals and they can see, oh, you know, there's millions of pounds on day one and there's even millions more on the way out. And so they often present, in order to get those deals over the line, really super ambitious targets and KPIs in terms of their growth rate for the future. That can be double-edged sword, because it might get the deal over the line, but then the reality is your earnout is going to be based on it. So always make sure that the KPIs and the kind of the growth targets you put down on paper are possible for you to deliver, because those over-ambitious KPIs can cause a problem. Other problems also include things like integration friction and how much control that you have. So those control clauses are really important in terms of making key commercial decisions, how much time and how much effort you have to put into integration whilst you're on the hook for your earnout. So in the instance of our deal, we made doubly sure that we didn't have to do any integration unless we wanted to, until we'd hit our numbers, and then after the earnout had finished is really when integration happened. And then of course it can be really hard, really be really careful on founder burnout, because often that kills a deal and the founder walks away. So particularly if your deal is over many years, think about the reality of having to deal with that under the pressure and the microscope that that's going to create. So my advice, always negotiate a realistic midpoint target on that earnout. Don't expect the buyer just to pay you out at the end. Make sure that you have at least one, possibly two or three sort of midpoint payments, and agree very specifically, and it pays to get a good lawyer here, I hate to say it, to be very, very clear on the wording of how that mechanism works, and include things like how quickly they're going to actually pay that money. So put them on the hook for making sure that, within 30 days of signing off of accounts or year end or whatever it is, that they have to have made that payment, because you don't win on the term sheet, but you absolutely do win on how well it's written. So bear that in mind when you're thinking about the costs of doing your deal as well. If you want a checklist of all the things, all the terms, and all the kind of the clauses that you should be really thinking about, and if you're going into that, then just DM me and I'm happy to send that over. But hopefully that was helpful.